Well, folks, here we again for the weekly forecast. During this last week, most of the major precipitation, the heaviest precipitation, fell north of the I-80 corridors. We had, of course, a storm system moving in last weekend, and then we had several rounds of thunderstorm activity this week. As we have this weak trough in the upper atmosphere to the west, it really has no big dynamic push to it, meaning it's not moving very rapidly toward the east, and so we see the diurnal thunderstorm activity kicking up on a daily basis across the state. Unfortunately, the areas of central and southeast Nebraska missed out on a significant portion of the precipitation that fell north of the I-80 corridor. Therefore, we've increased moderate drought conditions into portions of southeast Nebraska, including portions of Gage County, Saline County, Jefferson County, and Fillmore County, and continuing on into the future. If we do not receive significant moisture, I would expect that we'll see further expansion of this over the next week to 2 weeks, and we'll take a closer look at this next week with a drought monitor. So in terms of precipitation, there are chances for precipitation, although weak. We do have those chances, so let's take a look at the upper atmospheric pattern and how it may progress this week. We have a ridge at the surface, we have a trough to the west, and this confluence zone is where most of the major precipitation activity has been going as it runs around the ridge. We have surface lows basically all the way along the high plains region. That's going to help evac some moisture toward the north, but there's just no trigger to really work on it, so most of the activity will be over the northern Rockies in the southeastern United States. Now, as we go into tomorrow, this low pressure system begins to make a slow movement toward the central plains, so we still have low pressure at the surface on the lee of the mountains. That will at least bring some moisture up and interact with the tropic over the northern Rockies, but the dominant feature will still be the tropical activity over the southeastern United States. On Monday, this trough starts to open up somewhat, starts to move into the central plains, and so the surface lows to our south may actually have enough moisture to start pumping up and interacting with this trough, and indeed the models are showing precipitation breaking over the northern Rockies and into northwest Nebraska, and that will probably shift through the state during the overnight hours and into Tuesday as that trough makes its way up into the northern plains. So you see the surface low associated with that trough. We still have two more lows down toward our south that will help increase the moisture feed. So our best chance for widespread precipitation on Tuesday will be the eastern half of the state, and then that will exit out to the Great Lakes as surface ridging starts to build in and the trough moves over into the Ohio River Valley. High pressure is a dominant feature of the central Rockies with the surface low to our south, and that will help feed moisture into that troughing pattern over the Great Lakes in the eastern United States. And as we get into the day on Thursday, this ridge starts to build up even farther toward the north, bringing much warmer conditions once again back into the central plains. So we will be dealing with heat, humidity, and the potential for thunderstorm activity. Although it looks to be weak, there is some signs that maybe some thunderstorm activity over eastern Nebraska. And then as Friday comes around, we see that ridge really building toward the north. We're probably looking well into the 90s across a substantial portion of the central and southern plains. Surface lows to our west once again, but most of the moisture stays off to the east and interacts with the trough moving across the northern United States. So that's where the heaviest precipitation shield is. And if we look at the 8 to 14 day forecast from next Thursday through the following Tuesday, above normal temperatures, and in terms of precipitation, back to a dry trend.